Hello guys, I just received a comment on my previous video which was about the Beach Boys usage of autotune, and I didn't answer to that comment because it was kind of a troll comment, but I want to address it here if you are watching who wrote that comment. It was kind of hilarious. This commentator wrote that 17 minutes about the subject. Is anybody actually watching these until the end? And there's even no music. It was something like that. So I wanted to say to this guy, like, have you ever heard of this thing called YouTube? Do you comprehend what YouTube is? In the thumbnail there's a picture of my face, and the title was something like Auto-tuned Beach Boys. Are they really that bad? You can see the length of the video before you're clicking on it, and there's a bunch of music-centered YouTubers who do videos kind of like, these, that they just sit down and they talk about a subject. It shouldn't have been misleading in any way. Obviously it was a troll comment, but I just found it hilarious because YouTube's been around for 20 years. And even in the early days of YouTube, you couldn't even post music at all on YouTube. And it was all about just people talking and sharing their home videos. And then eventually when Vivo came to YouTube and started to push music videos, they got a huge backlash because the front page of YouTube started to be filled with these Vivo music videos, these latest pop music videos, and all the comments said that this is crap, I don't want any Vivo shit, I just want real YouTubers. But it's crazy how much YouTube has changed, and now the little guy, the little us are just kind of like the minority, and then all these big corporations have sort of taken over years ago already, so it's kind of funny. But anyway, that's all about that. It just got me thinking about the fact that we need more people to create Beach Boys content. And when I say Beach Boys content, I mean discussions about Beach Boys and their music and all the drama and all the funny stuff, all the interesting stuff, history, and with different styles. I love it that we have, I don't know, like a small handful of people on YouTube that do videos about the Beach Boys. And then there's the odd ones that do, like, I don't know, one video about the Beach Boys, and then most of the stuff that they do is something completely else. But then that one video gets like millions of views. And it's kind of weird when you see videos like those, and then you see that there's like, thousands of comments like, I love the Beach Boys, and then they have a lot of knowledge about them. And then I always wonder, like, where are all these people when I watch, like, the other stuff, because they don't get millions of views. So I'm always like, where are all these fans? Because they're not watching like the actual, like, the content creators that do Beach Boys, like mostly Beach Boys stuff. So it's kind of funny. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, I just think that we need more people to do discussions and talking videos about the Beach Boys. Whether, whatever that style is, if it's like interviews or history stuff or reviews or, whatever. Anyway, like I said, I love the fact that everybody that does these sort of things have their own style. So that it's not like everybody's doing just reviews or everybody's doing interviews or whatever, everybody's having their own style, and some people are more on topic and just like sort of stick with the history and the facts, and then some people are, I don't know, like me, that just kind of ramble about things and don't really, just throws ideas out there and opinions, not always, especially with like factual backgrounds. And likes to speculate too. But I'm just sad about the fact that for the past, I don't know, few months or so, basically this year, I've seen sort of lack of Beach Boys content on YouTube. If we go a year back, I don't know, like half of the people that were doing Beach Boys videos have quit. It's really sad. We really need new guys, or the older guys back, or whatever. We need more stuff, because I personally, I really love the longer form videos. That's why I do them myself too. I like to talk about an album for 30 minutes or whatever the topic is. I like to always try to get the videos at least up to 10 minutes, but hopefully up to 20 minutes because, well, let me explain. I know that some of you guys might think that, oh, it's way too much. I don't have time for this or whatever, but I'm always thinking about me as the first audience member. I need to entertain myself so that I can, create a good video that I'm proud of, and I think that it's like worth of releasing. And I personally just like the longer form videos. And the reason is, I get it, I don't have time to sit down and watch people talk about something for 30 minutes. I don't do that myself either, but when I'm cooking, when I'm walking with my dog or driving around or doing some yard work, doing firewood, Oh my god, was that a car accident? What the heck? You probably couldn't hear it. This is exactly what I mean. I'm not gonna cut it. Wow, it wasn't a car accident, there was some truck, and I think it hit like a bump or a curb or something, and it's like loud noise. Anyway, like, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, so at least I woke you up now, hopefully. When I'm doing other stuff, I like to put on my headphones and then just listen to, them talking about the subject that I love. And, the longer the video is, the more I enjoy it, because if I do something like chop firewood or whatever, cook, it takes me at least 30 minutes. If I'm driving, it might take me 2 hours. So I don't want to be all the time just searching for new stuff, like new videos. If it's like 10-minute videos, I need to have like 10-minute videos in queue to be able to have something to listen to the whole, drive, for example. So anyway, I know some of you guys are thinking podcasts. Well, the problem with podcasts is I don't use Spotify anymore, nor iTunes. So I know there's great Beach Boys podcasts, but there's a few issues. Well, first of all, from my knowledge, it takes for most of them like, I don't know, weeks to do a new episode. And then I have no idea where to find those episodes. I did listen to Ceylon podcast for a while, but I stopped because I couldn't find them on YouTube. I don't know if they are on YouTube or if you can find them on YouTube or whatever, but I couldn't find them last year. So it was just a hassle because I don't use Spotify, so I always had to like do weird things to be able to listen to them. So I just love YouTube. That's where I do my music listening through YouTube. I pay for YouTube Premium, and I like the fact that there's a video too, because I like to see the faces, even though I'm not necessarily always watching them, but I like the video form. That's just my thing. And yeah, so I always do my videos so that I try to, lit the video properly so that you can watch it, so that it's kind of like easy on the eye, not necessarily my face, but like the background and the lighting, and I try to make the video sharp, so that the focus isn't like on the background or over here or whatever. But I know I like half of the times I actually fail in that. But anyway, like, that's the way I like to do videos, because that's the kind of videos that I like to watch too. So, there you go. I have two-sided opinions about what I'm going to do in the future over here, because as we are coming to the end with the Beach Boys album reviews, I know there's still a lot of stuff to review from them that is interesting, like, some of the archival things that I haven't talked about, some of the singles that I haven't talked about, some of the live stuff, some of the concerts that I've seen. Like, there's so many things still that I can talk about that I haven't. But the thing with those is, those are not as popular among like the fandom. So even now, the actual album reviews have been like, they're not super popular, but then all the news stuff is very popular. But the thing is, I can't make up Beach Boys news from my, like, out of the blue. They have to be somewhat like factual. So there's very rarely anything, you know. If we would be living in the 70s, it would be a different thing. I can make a career out of talking about the Beach Boys, but not today. So the thing is, I really do love this little community. I love this channel, and I do want to continue it. I'm not going anywhere. I've been here for 20 years on YouTube, and this is my oldest channel, so, you know, I'm not going anywhere. But I don't like the idea of changing the subject either. So, you know, I'm kind of two ways about it. I don't know whether I should just stick with the Beach Boys stuff, but it's really hard because then it means that I can only post, like, after I've reviewed everything. I could only post if there's like any news or something, you know, something new. And usually they are bad news these days, you know, when the guys are so old. So I'm not a fan of that idea. I want to keep posting. I would love to post even more often. So, like I've mentioned before, I would really love to sort of expand. And obviously there's still the solo stuff and all of that, but, you know, that's a kind of dry well. There's, I don't know, maybe less than 20 solo albums, everything, you know, compiled to talk about, like main projects. So, and I know that they are not as interesting to most of the fans, so it's yeah. But the one group that I really would love to talk about is Bee Gees, and I haven't yet figured out how I'm going to do that. And I know that it's probably not as, I don't know, interesting to some of you guys, but there's a lot of Bee Gees fans, and I think that there's probably nobody on YouTube talking about the Bee Gees, like really talking about them. Like, I know that there's like the odd video here and there, but let me know if there's like Bee Gees channels. I doubt there is, but anyway. But there's a lot of fans out there, and I think the Bee Gees are just criminally underrated, and they go hand in hand with the Beach Boys and the Beatles and so on. There's like thousands of Beatles channels, so that's not something that I would like to talk about the Beatles, you know, maybe like review my favorite albums or something, not all of them. I would get a lot of hate if I review all of their albums, and I'll leave it with that at this point. But there's just thousands of Beatles channels, so that's not really something that I'm that excited about. But yeah, it's tricky because it's like if I start to talk about blues over here, it's completely different audience, really. You know, even though probably some of you guys like blues music or whatever, you know, and I'm not like a huge blues encyclopedic, but still I love some blues music. So I would kind of like to keep it close to the sort of the, you know, the Beach Boys style, talk about other groups maybe, and maybe like add like an odd video here and there where I talk about something completely else. But I know that if I start to variate it too much, it's not good. So it's tricky. But if you have any ideas, I would love to hear about your thoughts on what you would like to see on this channel when we move forward. The one thing that I've never done that I would love to do it is a sort of collaboration or like a talk with someone else, like maybe on, I don't know, Teams or Google I don't know, Google Hangouts. I don't think that exists anymore. But like some sort of collaboration with talking with someone else that loves the Beach Boys. And casually, I don't want to do like some sort of official thing, like we officially talk about this thing. Maybe just casually talk. But the thing with that is I'm super scared of that because all the rest, I believe, that are doing videos are like from the States, and I'm scared about that because I can talk with people. That's not the problem. But the problem is, I should edit that discussion so much because my train of thought probably wouldn't be that good. You know, I would just be like nodding my head and what's that word? Like, I'm not sure if I could really handle that situation. I don't know. I haven't done that. I have talked with people in the States, but I've never done a video, like a discussion video on like FaceTime or whatever, you know, with anybody. So that's a new thing for me. But I love that idea. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, little thoughts. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. I am so, welcome to all the ideas, any sort of suggestions if you have anything for the future. Thanks for watching. Take care and see you soon again. Bye bye.